We are looking at Grace's backstroke over the water. Commentary by Coach Chris. We're going to let this play through and just take a look at her stroke. Now, one of the things you'll notice is there's a lot of minuscule head movement. She has a wandering eye, and I talk to her about this all the time, but it's something to keep in mind. You'll notice a lot of looking around, a lot of little head movements. For her, it's more about, a little bit lift of the head. Her chin comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down, a little to the right, a little to the left. It's because her eye's looking for the rope, looking for signs of where she's at. She's not quite comfortable yet. Just swimming blind and trusting where she's at, keeping her eye on the ceiling and kind of being comfortable knowing she's swimming in a straight line. It's really a straight line issue. She does a great job. You notice she's swimming in a straight line. She just doesn't trust herself yet. And hopefully that improves. In practice, she does have a habit of, she goes further back in the lane, and so she's constantly looking around on backstroke and kick on her back. And those are areas she can improve greatly and help fix this problem, because that's where it really comes from when she's doing practice, especially kick on her back. But even if it's backstroke, swim, or drill, she looks around a lot. She'll look to check where she's at. She'll look to check where the swimmers are at. And every other stroke, her head's kind of moving. And that's the habit she's developing. She's teaching herself to keep the eye wandering. And a good swimmer keeps the eye still, keeps the eye fixed in the same position. For a backstroker, that'd be looking towards the ceiling, slightly forward, and just keeping it at the same spot as you travel across the pool to keep the head in the right position. So a lot of what I see with this little head movement is just a habit she has with her eye. Now, if we look at her body position here, a lot of little head bob. You can see her head moving a little bit, but that's something we can fix. Now, if we watch, okay job getting the shoulder out. I want you to focus on the shoulder here. She's rolling out, but she's having trouble getting it really high out of the water. It's going to keep her backstroke just a little flat. So you can see her shoulder's already stuck in the water. Here, she's submerged. This low body position is just because she's not keeping the shoulder up long enough. We do a drill where we do take that arm and brush our cheek with that shoulder. It's a drill she definitely gets. You can see this habit because she'll stop short of bringing the shoulder all the way up to her cheek. She'll kind of bring the shoulder up and then place it back down. She wants to be flat. That's her instinct, is to be flat on this backstroke. But she needs to get more up on her side, at least with the upper body. You're kind of twisting to your side, from side to side. So the shoulder needs to come up higher and stay up longer. Your shoulder should stay up through this part of the stroke, through the entire rise. The shoulder should be leading. Once she gets to the top, her shoulder is still up. And you can kind of see as she leads with the other arm, she gets the shoulder up, but she never really, this is the highest it gets. And this side's actually better from this angle. But I'd like to see her roll a little bit more of the shoulder out and just keep it up a little bit longer. Now as we go back, we'll get a better view of her stroke. Now she does do kind of a flat hand on the rise. That's fine. Lochte does that. She's getting the pinky down for the entry, so that's good. She's rotating, getting that pinky down on her left hand. On the right hand, though, watch. She's got her hand flat. This is what I was looking for. So see, she's leading with the fingertips. A lot of kids do this. And it looks like from the video, at least here, it looks like she has a slight imbalance. She does a better job of rolling on this side. You see how high she gets that shoulder on the rise? Gets the hand down, gets the pinky down. On this side, she stays flatter. On her right arm, she's flatter. And so she's trying to get the pinky down, but because her shoulder never really comes up, the only way she can get the hand in is to bend the wrist and lead with the fingertips back. So it's like she's stuck between two habits. She has an idea of what she wants to do, which I'd say is the proper backstroke, and her left side's doing it great. And I'm actually seeing this with a lot of the kids on this video, and I see it in practice, you know, where you can see them transitioning from their old technique to what they understand is the proper technique. And you're seeing that here. See, she's not quite getting, at this point, she should be pinky down, but she's still leading with her fingertips. And it's all because of the way she's rolling and reaching with that arm. She's just not rolling that shoulder up high enough to help give herself the position to rotate the pinky down properly. Once the shoulder's stuck down in the water, she's really going to be reaching in an awkward position. Now the left side, she does great. And it's just really that right arm. So just a little imbalance. That's pretty typical for kids these age. She has the right idea. That's a solid turn for her. She's keeping proper space between herself and the wall. Pretty good glide. We'll talk about the kick out on the underwater video. The breakout's something I really like to address here. You can see the angle she's coming up. And her eyes are back towards the wall that she just left. And what it's going to cause her to do is it's going to cause her to break up at an upward angle. So she's going to be traveling towards the ceiling here on her first stroke. See how high that head is? Now she's trying to compensate and get the head back, but it's setting up a very high head position and getting most of the energy going up instead of backwards. What she wants to do is lean away from the surface. So she should keep her eyes this way, looking at the surface. And she should lean back away from the surface as it approaches her face. And what that's going to do is that's going to have her arch her back because she's kind of leaning away from it. And it's going to get her energy going that way on the first stroke. So a little bit of a... And the reason she's doing that is she's uncomfortable at the end because she's starting to run out of air, and almost all the kids do this at this age. She's running out of air, so she's just trying to protect herself. The worst thing in the world is the discomfort of water going up her nose. So that's kind of one of those fears she's going to need to get over. Water gets up your nose, it stings, but you don't drown. It just stings a little bit, and that stinging is not as important as getting the head back and breaking out properly. So, you know, as she gets older, she'll get a little tougher and get over that fear. But most of the kids her age have it. And so getting that breakout a little bit smoother, leaning back, really it'd be a good skill for her to have. And here's her looking. She has a habit of just checking where she's at a lot. So for her, I think that's one of the big things. Getting a lot more comfortable just trusting where she's at and that she's in a straight line. You know, she's always checking with her eyes when she's on her back, and that's where all the subtle little head movements go and come from. So keeping the eyes still, trusting where she's at, that's really the next step for her with her head position, body position. As far as her shoulders, she needs to roll her right arm out more, lead more with that shoulder, get it more like her left. And that'll give her the ability to rotate and get that pinky in first on the entry at the top of her stroke. Right now she has two different habits. Her left side is the proper side. Her right side, because her shoulder's not coming out high enough, tends to be the old technique that she's moving away from. And you see this a lot. You know, the side they favor is going to be correct. A side they don't favor so much is going to be incorrect. But eventually it works its way out. As long as we keep doing drills and she keeps focused on what the proper technique is, she will work this out of her system. It's just with these kids at this age, these quirks exist because they're transitioning from one technique to the other, and it's not always a smooth transition. In fact, most times it's not. But I see a lot of good things with Grace's backstroke, and we'll look at it underwater and talk a bit about her pole mechanics and her underwater dolphin kicks.